Did you push play?
Oh, I thought you were gonna push play.
Okay.
I push play.
I pushed
Oh,
play.
you just push pause.
I want to do some Loki theories, to be honest.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Have you watched any Loki videos yet?
I might have watched one. I watched one, and then they told me something that I didn't see in the trailers the first time because we didn't watch every single trailer that was released.
I don't know what you do when you watch trailers. I don't watch trailers.
So they,
you know what I'm watching?
Well, they spoiled something for me that was coming up, and I'm like, damn it! So I stopped watching the show.
So when I was watching Younger on Hulu, they showed like 2 Loki trailers, and I was like, and then like
go ahead.
You know how sometimes when you're just like, oh, is it over yet? And you're like this, and you go, like, I don't even do that. I just wait, and then I go, la, 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 la. I try not to hear anything because do you remember when I always remember when I was at the gym and the Infinity War trailer came out, and I looked up and I saw the Steve holding Thanos's punch from Infinity War. And I remember looking up, like on the treadmill, looking up, going, and then like, immediately looking away. I couldn't. Then I remember when I went to see Aquaman and the trailer for Endgame came out. And as soon as the trailer started, I went like, and the guy next to me was like, and I was watching it like this. Man, it's just like, I love trailers. They're so amazing, but it's like, I don't know what's happened to us that like I can't watch a trailer because I just get too excited.
It's so much information, and then the funny part is that it's always been this amount of information because you watch trailers from like the 90s and the 80s. It's beat by beat everything that's gonna happen in the movie,
especially a John Woo movie, and especially if you've ever seen the trailer for Face Off and Mission Impossible 2.
Arlington, I watched. Oh yeah, you were with me. We were watching all those old trailers. The trailer for Arlington Road, that was the entire movie.
The entire movie.
The entire movie, like frame by frame, the entire movie in the trailer. How do people make money off of their movies? I mean, I guess the bar was a lot lower then as well, so I don't know. But it's different because when you're movie trailers are supposed to get you to go to the movie, but like when you're watching trailers for an episodic show, each week they're going to show you a new trailer for the next week. And that's not unlike when we're watching Flash. I mean, they show you, like while the credits are running, they're showing you snippets of what's to come next week.
Yeah, I don't see those because of watching it on the CW app.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, but I mean, even still with that stuff, I watch it, but I'm also like skittish when I watch it because I'm like, I don't want to know. Like, I like just blindly watching a show, and like we're watching Castle Rock now, and I'm watching it 2 years removed. But I don't have to worry about like spoilers because that period has already passed, and it's not a show that's constantly in the news right now. With commercials and trailers and whatnot playing for it every week. So I guess with the amount of information and then wanting to maintain that surprise factor, it's better to watch shows that are older.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw when we were watching the first episode of Castle Rock, I went in Google and typed in the Easter eggs because of all the Stephen King references. A lot of them, I mean, I knew them, but like still, like there's a lot of Stephen King stuff I've never seen, and I can't read, so there's lots of stuff that he's done. And that's when we were saying to what's her face when she's like, oh, like that's Stephen King, and it's just like if you look at his entire like body of work, like 70%, maybe 80% of it has been turned into film or TV. It's a lot. He
And
It's funny that it's crazy that he's still writing because he really doesn't have to.
yeah, he really doesn't.
He doesn't.
And you know what? Each new phase of like, dare I say, movie students that come into the industry, I feel like we kind of keep getting the same um uprising again of like the Stephen King lore, a new type of, like these like niche little things like kind of keep getting a reprise every couple of years because
Yeah.
newer, generations are A, discovering this work, and then B, wanting to do their own kind of ode to something that they appreciated.
What Mendelssohn and another in that last Stephen King thing, The Outsider or something?
I think you're right,
Was The Outsider Stephen King?
but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a smart cookie.
Yeah, that was.
You're a smart lady.
Yeah, so that was. Yeah, so that was the beginning of last year.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm a liar because I thought that so Stephen King, Ben Mendelsohn, not too many other people in this. Okay, so this is the one. This is the same one that had Jason Bateman because I wanted to watch it because I love Jason Bateman. So this
Right.
one was Outsider and it was on HBO. So it's probably on Max probably now. And I can watch that sometime. So we can probably add that to the next thing. It's only 10 episodes. But
Okay.
if I don't know what we're doing next.
I hope we do Legion next because I do want to watch it again. I don't want to watch it by myself because some of it's kind of scary.
I was scared of season 1. I think I was mostly scared of season 2. I don't know.
I think each season has like its own like 1 or 2 episodes that are just like pure horror.
Time cats.
That's
Oh, I know they're already done with Doctor Strange, but could you imagine seeing
Legion.
Could you imagine? Like, could you imagine like the initial shock? I would like just be dead, like absolutely dead. And I'm also thinking,
That's what I was saying. Like with Loki and with Multiverse of Madness, they have the opportunity to revisit all of these shows that started post 2012 Avengers, and like just acknowledge them. They were there.
yeah.
They
I
were
mean, it'd
there.
be cool. And I know I was totally thinking the other day. I was started reading. It's Pride Month, so someone was posting about Nico and Carolina. What's her name? Carolina?
Carolina.
Yeah. Someone was posting about them. And then I was thinking, I forgot about that episode when they did the crossover with Cloak and Dagger. And how like, Cloak and Dagger obviously got canceled. So there couldn't even been an episode with them going there. Because that would have been interesting because what would they have done in New Orleans, Um but that's
So
what I was thinking about.
was the show canceled before the crossover happened?
Sure. Because I think they were filming both.
At the
They're
same
filming
time?
season 3 and season 2, I think, at the same time, weren't they?
I don't know. We can look this up. We can look it up.
Oof.
Yeah.
That would have been that was probably why the crossover happened in the first place. But they made these characters. I mean, Cloak and Dagger in the comics, weren't they like young adults, not like
Teenagers.
they were?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Can I tell you my very basic Loki theories so far?
No. I'm kind of nervous to even look at a breakdown because I just like I spent probably months and weeks watching breakdowns of everything in the last 3 years, probably since Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man, Infinity War, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I watched them all. So I just feel like the more I watch, the more I'm gonna be like, oh, I remember I saw that in that video from that one person that I can't remember, but I know I've seen it before. You know what I mean? I feel like if I just keep watching those kinds of videos, I'm not gonna have any type of like any type of like scary
Shock or
moment.
awe.
Imagine, because it's like I saw on Twitter the other day that someone said the lowest part of our fandom was when we thought a bug and WandaVision was Mephisto. So it's like everybody assumed we'd be seeing Mephisto. I thought I'd be seeing Mephisto. I definitely thought I'd be seeing Mephisto like 100%. I was like, House of M, let's freaking get it. Like, let's get it. And then, we had Agatha, we had Pietro, we had Billy and Tommy, Mephisto. You know what I mean? It's like we had it and then we didn't get it. But even all the fandom and the theories and everything on Twitter and Instagram and like episode 4 was released. Let's here's 100 things that we noticed, and it's just like, are we noticing 100 things, or do we think we're noticing 100 things?
This is
so,
also understand this is especially last year because it was on. Oh wait, it started in 2021, didn't it? Yeah, we were hungry for Marvel.
Yeah,
Anything. Hungry.
It's crazy that 2020 happened and we got nothing. Like for the first time since 2009, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First time since 2009 we didn't get any Marvel content.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a lie because wait, no, wow.
And I mean, speaking to last year, wholly, like we didn't really get a lot of bigger films that we had anticipated, and everything got pushed out to this year, later into this year, and then next year. Basically, the next 2 or 3 years are going to be films that were supposed to have come out already. Do you think it's going to have a significant impact on like the established MCU timeline, or do you think we don't really care as long as we know where it's placed? We don't really care when it comes out. Now there seems to be some chronology to it. Well, with Loki, it's set in 2012, but even he said time works different there, so who knows what year it actually is there. It could be the present, or it could be the future, or it could be 1,000 years ago.
I think the only thing that's going to make sense is probably going from any type of post-credit scene in Black Widow. Because whatever they were setting up,
whatever the post-credit scene is, usually it seems like they generally shoot them separately. So it might have been something that they could have swapped out with another. If there was a pre-established post-credit scene, it might have changed after the film got delayed for over a year.
And of course, Contessa Valentina Scorsese DiCaprio.
Delafontaine.
Madam Hydra.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you my theory, but I still think we're going to get I still think we'll get our House of M moment.
What moment?
No More Mutants.
Really?
I still think we'll get it. We're not done with Scarlet Witch.
Obviously, no, we're not.
We're probably going to get another, maybe 6 Well, 6 is a lot. But it depends on, how far she's willing, how long she's willing to stick with it. I was gonna say maybe another 6 projects, but I don't know. I don't know how large a story they want to continue to tell at this point. Are they going to use less films to get us to that final moment? Because 22 in retrospect is a lot, but at the time it didn't seem like a lot because we were just happy to go see the movie. But now, um, do you think that they're going to have to work with like a shorter sort of like 6 film type of setup? I mean, they've also got the TV shows as well, so I feel like they wouldn't need necessarily as many films to get us to those big moments anymore. And they can do a lot of that smaller setup, with their series.
No, I think that the shows definitely. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know because they keep saying they're adding this person and this person and this person to like each show, so the cast list for all of them is quite large.
Yeah.
Especially they just started, they're still adding, they just added those people to She-Hulk. Didn't they just add somebody else to Secret Invasion? Like the casts are becoming quite large, and the only thing we really don't have a lot of knowledge on, for me, at least for me, is Moon Knight. Like all I know for a fact is Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. But
So
those those are the only ones I don't see like a lot really going on. I don't know.
do you think that doing the smaller format shows, the limited series, are helping Marvel to cast people who they've wanted to cast but were not necessarily interested in coming to Marvel because of their 3 and 4 picture deal contracts?
Mm,
In other
yeah,
words, it's to do the limited series is less of a obligation than, so like the men and women who have to get ripped don't have to maintain a physique for long periods of time. I mean, it's a lot of work to
yeah.
do that kind of stuff.
Something that will make a lot of sense. People who don't want to commit to something like that. I don't know.
I'm not going to edit that out.
No, I'm reading right now and it says, What If are 10 episodes, Ms. Marvel is 6 episodes, Moon Knight 6, She-Hulk is 6, Secret Invasion is 6, Ironheart is 6. But the other ones, they don't have titles for. Other ones, they don't have numbers for. There's no number for Hawkeye, Armor Wars, or Wakanda series.
Why do you think WandaVision was so long, or do you think it was because?
I think because they were doing the decades. I think the reason that the decades happened was because they were supposed to grow old together. So her doing the decades let her grow old with him. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, it let her kill him now because that would have meant they lived 50, 60 years together. I think that's why they did the decades. So I think that's probably why they did the episode so long, so each episode could be a decade. But honestly, do you remember when the first episodes came out and everybody was like, "What is this?"
Everybody was
Like my friend, she
Mhm.
was watching the first 2 episodes. She was like, "I don't understand," and I was like, "Yeah."
Continue the story.
Also, like I was saying, she was watching it and she didn't really understand what was happening. So I was explaining everything to her. I was just like, "Oh, it's this, 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 this." And she's like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "Because I'm me." So I think that
Know everything before we start watching it.
yeah, so people who go into the series and go in, you know, who, they'll be like, "Oh, I love Marvel," but they've only seen like the first Avengers movie and like one Captain America. You know what I mean? There's so many people who haven't seen everything. So when she started it, when I watched it with her, she was just like, I don't get it, like blah blah blah. And so then I don't even know if she finished it because people did not like the first 2 episodes. They didn't understand what was happening. And I read that on Twitter that people were like complaining that they didn't understand like why it was a black and white, why it was like old, like they didn't get it, like they didn't know they were like going through the decades. So I think when people didn't people stopped watching it because they didn't get it. And I think in that, and do you remember our mutual friend said that episode 4, when you got the exposition, she was like, oh, but like, I didn't feel still love episode 4 of WandaVision, but I knew what was happening. Like I knew that I know everything, but I knew that, it was magic. It was either subconscious or she did it on purpose because she seemed confused a lot. Like in the first 2 episodes, Wanda was confused a lot because she couldn't make dinner. Her magic apparently didn't work. You know what I mean? And then she ended up making bacon and eggs. So it's like, you were, especially Agatha had something to do with that too. I think Agatha threw her the most ridiculous recipes, set in the 50s. And then even when you first watch it, she says, "Who are you?" And she says, "I'm Wanda." And then, when even in episode 7, when she said, no, episode 8, when she said, "Who are you?" Like when you rewatch episode 1, you were just like, she really is meeting her for the first time. She didn't know who she was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if just like people who don't know, who don't read as much as you and I do, and don't look for the details, and the details are always are going to be a little bit confused. But you saw that Loki had the highest ratings. So Loki is officially the oldest person in the MCU of the show.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too, because I was just like, wait a minute. And I was just like, I'm right, because Thor came out before Captain America. So I think I
And
just think
he's been a very likable character since, I mean, I would say 2011, even though he wasn't a villain. Even though he was a villain, he was more villainous, I think, in 2000 and Thor. But somehow in Avengers, he just became extremely likable. But it also, I mean, in that first episode of Loki, he says he's the villain, but I don't, like you said before, you don't ever think you don't think of him as a villain, and you never really have, right?
no.
I think the most intense he's been for me um, was definitely like those first 2 appearances. Because I mean, I always say this, like that just that family drama of it in Thor, um, resonates with a lot of people because, people grow up with like older brothers and sisters or younger brothers and sisters that like get all the attention, I guess, if you will, from their parents, and they feel like they don't get that. So I think that one was a very it was a very sincere performance. Yeah. Can I tell you
Yeah.
something? I know we talked about this before, but the music for Loki, do you know who I thought it was? When the chords first dropped, I thought it was Hildur Gudnadottir. I'm sorry, I'm saying her name wrong. The lady that composed Joker, the cellist that composed.
I never knew
Oh,
that.
yeah. She's that's who I thought it was when I first heard the music. So I was actually surprised that it was Natalie Holt. I initially thought it was Hildur. I need to figure out how to pronounce her last name so I won't be a douche.
I feel like the Joker stairs are in Washington Heights. Are they in Washington Heights?
I can't remember. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye.
What's this on the 14th?
Sorry, I burped. I'm not gonna edit that out either. Or I'll edit out my burp, but leave your burp in there. Goodbye. Thank you. It's been real.